I'm going to express my warm gratitude and welcome to all of our leaders here and open the floor for Ashley, our Mystery School coordinator, to lead this roundtable. So welcome, good morning, or I guess it's afternoon now. Good afternoon, everyone. It's so good to be here with you.
Hi, so we have our Sophia Circle leaders from all over the world with us today. So for some of you, it's evening, for some of you, it's morning and afternoon. We have Dana, who is joining us from Langley, British Columbia. We have Joanna from Boise, Idaho. We have Sabine in Switzerland. We have Lorraine, I believe in Toronto, Ontario, Canada area. Taryn, who is anchoring the light in South Africa, Johannesburg, South Africa. We have Jenny from, I believe, Colorado, Lisa of Chicago, Illinois, Sarah, San Diego, California, and Damien, we have, I believe, from Durango, Colorado. So we're so excited that you're here. And Sophia Circles are now being offered in French and in English, and there's more to come for our French-speaking community that is interested in Sophia Circle leadership. So if you are feeling drawn to participate in this program, please email us at contact@lacodesophia.fr. There's so much more to come. And I'd love to hear from some of our leaders. I would love for us to just hear. So I've got a couple of questions. I would love to hear from Lisa and from Dana. Lisa first, Dana second. What do you love about being a Sophia Circle leader?
Hello, everyone. So happy to be here with everyone. Hello, hi, Kaia. And I actually just on Thursday completed my first, it was my 6-month Sophia Circle journey. So it feels so special to be here talking about it. And there's so much. And in this moment, it's really what Kaia was talking about, just how we receive the blessing first. And I know that might sound, there's a part of me that feels like that sounds so selfish, but it's not. I clearly was led to do this with a great prayer to be of service. And it absolutely is. And at the same time, I had a lot of resistance. I have my spiritual business that I've been leading, and there was my ego was just like, I don't know if I can do this. I don't know if this fits, but my heart was like, no, this is the next step. My heart and Mother Mary and Mary Magdalene. And so what I discovered in facilitating these circles was, first of all, how supported I am by the Ascended Masters, which sounds so obvious because I already had a relationship with them, but there's something so pristine about these circles, about this container. And I feel like everything in my life led me to that moment of saying yes to completing the certification, to leading these circles, and to show up aware of any codependency patterns I still had of wanting to rescue clients or take their pain away or whatever, however well-intentioned, but not really rooted in sovereignty. And yet, because of the initiations I've gone through, because of the certification program, because of my mentoring with the Ascended Masters, that it was almost like impossible to do in the Sophia Circles. You show up and you're in such a pristine, honest space. And I felt, I felt like Kaia was saying, like I was in touch with heaven in a different way. And like, it was like they were doing the heavy lifting for me. Like they were doing Sophia God, the Ascended Masters, the participants, their own Holy Spirit, higher self. And it was in such a palpable way that it felt like it healed so many lifetimes for me of wanting to be of service, but at the same time being scared of being of service, of increasing my platform. So I hope all that makes sense, but I just feel that I'm feeling that a lot in my heart right now, just the blessing and the healing. And I'm just being guided to share. Yesterday when I called them my circle of empowerment, because I do that every morning with the Ascended Masters, I was calling them and they seemed so celebrate. They were like celebrating, and I was like, I just kind of asked, why are you all so excited? Not that they're, they're always happy, but they felt extra regal, and they were like, we're celebrating you. Like you did this, you finished your first Sophia Circle, and it felt really like such a blessing. So I just want to share that from my heart, that I felt so touched by that. And I'm so touched to be here with all of you beautiful leaders and everyone that's here. So thank you.
Thank you, Lisa. We're celebrating you too. Thank you so much for sharing everything that you just did. Just warmed my heart so much.
Thank you.
Dana, I would love to hear from you. What do you love about being a Sophia Circle leader?
I love it all, actually. I love everything about it. But what I want to say is the journey. It really is a journey. And so I've chosen to lead monthly Sophia Circles. So we would go on a 13-month journey, and just witnessing the empowerments and the growth and the vulnerability of each person that would show up every month in person. Every circle I had tears in my eyes just witnessing them, and also the way that they were supporting each other throughout the journey and the friendships. I'll probably cry because it was just it's so special to me to be able to have that sacred space and facilitate. And the journey, which actually ended in November. And I was thinking back to the first circle we had in person, and then fast forward 13 months and with the Sophia Dragons, and the power that that circle had, the power and the connection, like full body chills every time I think about it, just from that experience. And then I decided to start a new circle just in December, and they all joined again. So like that says a lot. So now we're with another person as well, but we're so going on another 13-month journey, and I'm just so excited to see what happens for each of them. And also, I didn't realize the level of initiation that I was going to go through for a Sophia Circle journey. My whole life transformed. It was quite a blessing and a surprise. So I just absolutely love it. And we were supposed to have our circle today at 1 o'clock, but instead we're all here in ceremony with all of you. And so it's very cool. Yeah. Yay. So thank you.
Thank you, Dana. I just love hearing you speak about your passion for Sophia Circle leadership. And I've known you for years through our live events, and just your beautiful heart has been such a contributor to our international movement. It's an honor and a joy to have you share about your ministry here today. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
And what I love about Dana's share is that it shows like the sovereignty that exists within the Sophia Circle Leadership Program and facilitation, because you can choose if your circles are weekly, monthly, bi-weekly. Dana's circles in particular are in person, which I think is so powerful. So you have the option of virtual or in person. And thank you so much for your share, Dana. And I would love to hear from Lorraine and from Sarah. Can you share with us a powerful moment that either happened for yourself or for one of your clients while you've been in ceremony in a Sophia Circle? And I'd love to hear from Lorraine first.
Thank you so much for this opportunity. The circles are so amazing. The blessings that pour through, it's hard to describe. I was saying to Ashley, it's almost like there's no words. There's a mystical experience happening on multi-levels, and it just reaches your heart. We're held in these circles. There's so much love. There's so much safety. there's so much growth. And what I'm experiencing right now, I'm going through my 5th circle. I started my first in January 2021 as a participant, and then I co-facilitated, and now I'm facilitating this 5th circle. And it's amazing what's unfolding. It's, for me, the being visible is, I'm getting these amazing big breakthroughs of the fear of showing up. And I've worked through it, and it's amazing how without the Sophia Code, I never would have done this. And without the journey, the leadership, having to step up and say, you're doing this, girl, you can do it. And now I'm feeling there's another huge leap, just, yeah. And I'm excited for 2022. This is like, I want to be in my divine purpose fully, like 200%. I'm diving in, no more holding back. So yeah, and this is only through all these journeys, all these circles. It's amazing how it's just holding you, and you get transformed. It's like an alchemical experience. You move from the lead to the gold. You will. I say it's the best, the most beautiful gift you can offer yourself. Definitely.
Oh my gosh, it's so powerful to hear your testimonial, Lorraine. Thank you so much. And you're also bilingual, correct?
Yes. So I'm really excited about, and I've felt ever since I've touched the Sophia Code and so many beautiful things. I always feel, oh my God, if only my French speaking community could know this. So I'm so excited that, yeah, my heart's there all the time. I see opportunities for Canada, Quebec, or anywhere else in the world. I'm just really excited. Yeah.
Thank you for sharing. So great to hear from you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Lorraine, for such a beautiful share. And I'd love to ask the same question to Sarah. Is there any moments of transformation that you've experienced while facilitating circles?
Yes, there's been so many breakthroughs as far as witnessing the initiates walk through the circles. And in my own experience, one thing I wanted to touch on was codependency, cutting that cord of codependency. I used to be really rooted in a lot of new age teachings of kind of bypassing your feelings and emotions. And I always wanted to soothe and help my clients and really come up with solutions. And you can't do that hosting Sophia Circles. It's really a sovereign, co-creative place. And it's beautiful to really watch, my clients open up, be raw, be vulnerable, and just to create that space with them without trying to have to rescue them or come up with, my opinion or solutions. It's just really allowing that compassionate witness to be there and to hold the space. And, it's really empowering because they get to have their own relationship with Sophia and Ascended Masters and their own sovereign spiritual awakening, and to just see their lights turn on and to see that process from the first circle to the end. It's truly a blessing and a miracle. And I'm just so grateful I followed this yes to becoming a facilitator.
Oh, thanks for sharing, Sarah. It's so exciting to hear about how you're witnessing the difference between codependent spiritual leadership and sovereign spiritual leadership. The prayer for Sophia Circle Journeys was for our worldwide community to have their own direct relationship with this sacred text. And, the way that you're facilitating these circles and delighting in the freedom and the liberation of being a facilitator of sovereign space just brings so much joy to my heart. Thank you for sharing today.
I love it as well, Sarah. And what you're touching on is something that a lot of our leaders that are currently walking through the Sophia Circle Leadership Program have shared, is that when you start to get really clear about those codependency and behaviors, and you start to actually facilitate a truly sovereign space, it is naturally going to realign your other spiritual offerings and other things. It just naturally starts to really come into play. So everything that you're anchoring on the planet is coming through Christ consciousness. So I'm so glad that you mentioned that. Thank you. And I would love to, it's interesting because your answer actually leads into another question that I have. And so I'd love to hear from Joanna. How has your Sophia Circle leadership created greater sovereignty in your relationship with life?
Yeah. Hi. First of all, hello, everyone. Hi, Kaia and Ashley and all you beautiful souls and my fellow leaders. So great to be here. Yeah, so good. Oh my gosh, what isn't sovereign when you start tapping into the Sophia Code? But I mean, I'd say one of the main things on this dragon ride is really just that acceptance of listening to all aspects of my consciousness, most specifically my heart consciousness. Like how many times do we hear, listen to your heart, let your heart guide you, and you truly tap into what that means when you start using this level of awakening and sovereignty of the Sophia Code. And it really allows me to, in Sophia Circle leadership and just stepping into more sovereignty, the more circles I lead, the more willing I am to really surrender into that I don't need to control my life anymore. I don't need to know how my life is going to pan out. I trust and I'm at ease listening to my heart, asking my heart questions. Like Kaia and I always kind of talk/joke about, not really joke, is recovering perfectionist over here. And it's really learning how to be okay with letting things pan out how they're supposed to, as you let that heart consciousness really guide your circles or guide your day-to-day choices. It's really taught me to respond to life rather than react to life, which is huge for me. And I truly trust myself. I trust my voice. I do not let anyone, business, entity, anything outside of me tell me or make decisions for me. I'm very confident in making my own decisions for myself, trusting my heart. And just always willing to polish that crystalline DNA that's constantly turning on, that divine genome that the Sophia Code turns on for you, in order to just keep embodying more and more light, and to be that light for my community and for my family and my friends or my circles, and to not be ashamed of that. And I know like all of us here are really stepping into that, and knowing that it's because we know that anyone who sees this much light inside of us holds just as much light and can hold just as much light. And it's very humbling and very like we're all stepping up on the pedestal together here. And so I just support myself in all aspects of my life, whether that's financially or physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. I don't need to learn through suffering anymore. None of us have to learn through the hardships. We can learn through sovereignty. And so that's just been such a beautiful experience for myself during these circles. I could go on, so I should stop here. Thank you.
It's been so great to get to know you, Joanna, throughout the years. And I remember when you first entered into the certification program and you came in with such a willing heart and so much passion. But I remember you also felt maybe perhaps a little vulnerable or intimidated about being seen in this way, and to see you shining and create, I know you've facilitated multiple circles. To see you shining as a leader in our community is just so much fun to witness, and such an honor to be here leading with you side by side. Thank you for sharing your passion for the Sophia Code. It's just a delight to connect with you today.
Thank you.
I love our leaders so much and everything that they
so much.
It's just the best. I would love to hear from Sabine and Damien. So my question for you is, as a Sophia Circle leadership graduate, is there any words of advice or pearls of wisdom that you would give to someone who might be a part of our ceremony today that would want to step into Sophia Circle leadership? I'd love to hear from Sabine first and then Damien.
Absolutely.
Please share where you're from.
Absolutely. I'd love to share, and I'm from Switzerland, Europe, Switzerland, and I'm so glad to be here. And I would like to say a warm welcome to everybody here who's joining us, who is with us in this beautiful community and just listening. But first of all, I would say to somebody that is considering doing Sophia Circle leadership, thank you for even considering that, because we are so happy that you're even considering that. We really need more Sophia Circle leaders in this world, and it's a great honor and joy if you are joining us.
And that's the other thing I would love to tell you. You're not just entering a program for yourself, you're going to enter a community, a real community of heart-centered connectedness. You're never alone in this community. You're always surrounded by the most beautiful people, and you find the new world within this community, the ones we're all looking for, the ones we're all asking for. It already exists right here, right now, in this most beautiful community. So that's all I can share. Please consider your heart and join us.
Oh my God, I have chills, Sabine. Thank you so much for that invitation. I have tears in my eyes. Like, I'm so grateful that you feel that way, because that was the prayer for this community, is for us to meet each other heart to heart and wing to wing, to create a sacred, safe space in this world where we could shine in our sovereign divine light and no longer apologize for it anymore, but instead uplift one another and to lead side by side and to care for one another's hearts. And it's like to see, like, we definitely didn't tell her to say that, but that was definitely a mic drop moment of like, wow, what a gift to us to hear your testimony today, Sabine, because that just lit up my whole world and put tears in my eyes. So thank you. Prayer answered. So it's such an honor to be leading with you. Sabine is leading some incredible Sophia Circle Journeys in Europe. Is that in person or online, Sabine?
So far, I was leading in person, and some circles we had to do online as well, but my next one will be starting online. And I'm honored to lead for Europe as well, really.
Fabulous. It's so great to have you here today. Happy New Year's.
Thank you. Happy New Year's to you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sabine. I also got tears in my eyes with your share, because that is our heart's prayer, is to have a space to gather in community and to explore spiritual leadership in what I would define as a safe space. So thank you so much. And Damien, I'd love to hear from you.
Wow, I am so honored to be here. Hello, everyone. And Kaia, thank you so much. Wow, the pearls from the Sophia Circle Leadership Program, they're strand after strand after strand of pearls, not just one, but many. The Sophia is so generous. This program is so generous. The three that come to mind for me today are synthesis, the amount of things that have come together for me since I've stepped into this leadership program are miraculous. It's just, it is incredible. It is like miracle after miracle. And the second one is integration, this pearl of integration, where I have come from the intellect to this incredible embodiment of deep wisdom, and I'm so supported, and this community is incredibly safe. And so I've been able to expand in ways that I have only imagined until this last year. And the third is sovereignty. I had no idea what it meant before I found the Sophia Code. No idea. And the ability and the support that I have to unravel these codependent tendencies, or these codependent stories, has been, again, like miraculous. And the waves just keep washing up upon my shore. It is such a blessing to get to lead in this way, to facilitate in this way. And yes, please join us with a huge invitation if you're ready to just step into this next level embodiment of your divine sovereignty. This is it. Thank you.
Oh, Damien, it's so great to hear from you and to watch you just shine like the sun through your face and your smile and your eloquence. My God, it's such a blessing to hear from you today. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you, Kaia.
I Loved those pearls of wisdom so much. Thank you so much. Such an amazing conversation. And I'm like speechless. I love these conversations so much. I'd love to hear from Taryn in South Africa. One of my questions, because you and I have had some amazing conversations about the mystery school and your experience, like I'd love to hear from you is, how do you continue to use the leadership training modules and our mystery school as you're facilitating Sophia Circle Journeys?
Thank you, Ashley. So yes, having led 8 Sophia Circle Journeys, both in person and online, the leadership training modules continue to provide such a solid and stable energy that I continue to lean into even now. So for me personally, I find myself referring to the wealth of wisdom that the activations brought forth through this program. And this allows me to enrich the overall experience of each and every Sophia Circle that I'm facilitating. In particular, Mother Mary's activation within the Sophia Circle Leadership Program around boundaries has been so incredibly helpful. And I find myself leaning into the healthy boundaries section quite often. It's definitely guided me on how to navigate standing grounded and strong within my spiritual leadership whilst in ceremony. And if I may just touch on how all the programs within the Sophia Code offering and ministry school actually have such a synergy and how like they link arms. So I'm going to be entering into facilitating a year-long Sophia Circle journey at the end of January. And I've actually been guided to revisit Stargate 1 curriculum before each ceremony, because this is a 12-month, 13-moon cycle, and Stargate 1 is also a 12-month program. And it just shows how interchangeable all the offerings are within the Sophia Code Ministry School. And it just allows us to sharpen shine. And if I can just quickly also, I really feel like I'd like to speak into, as a Sophia Circle leader, you have access to the most supportive official facilitator manual. And this manual and how it's been set up has really helped me personally navigate my own resistances to stepping up into more and more of my spiritual leadership. And I now lean into the sacred and formal ceremonial space rather than resist it. And as you know, how easy resistances have the potential to take over and compromise how we show up in a really good way. And again, this is covered in the leadership training. So all in all, the training material that's provided is so supportive and is available to be revisited time and time again. And it only just strengthens our spiritual leadership.
Oh my gosh, Taryn, it's so amazing to hear about your leadership and your inner process and how you're resourcing all of the mystery school curriculums to continue to expand and radiate, your higher self's Christ light throughout every Sophia Circle journey and opportunity to engage with their clients. It means so much to me as a channel to hear how you are truly integrating this work on every level of your leadership and your being, and how you recognize, and I know all of our leaders recognize this as well, like how harmoniously they all work together as an entire quantum field of ascension education, with the Stargate 1 curriculum really helping us with our direct personal relationship with our higher self and the ascended masters. There's so many rich ceremonies and journaling prompts and direct, like, fundamental teachings about how to work with ascended masters and bring that reality into your home and your office space and your life, and to resource the certification program and the Stargate 2 curriculum for that divine purpose calling that naturally arises once you finish with Stargate 1. You're like, game on. I'm embodying my higher self. I'm mentoring with the ascended masters. Now what? and to hear how you're, sharing about that, and the honesty, right? The authenticity that along the journey of leadership, our ego structure can come in and sideswipe us at any moment so that we're not leading from our highest sovereign potential. And I love that you are speaking about like the stellar resonance of the manual to keep us on point, and that every certified Sophia Circle leader, just like Taryn, is leading from that facilitator's manual. And that's because there is so much profound spiritual awakening and expansion that happens for any client or community member that's going on your Sophia Circle journey, that those Sophia Circle journeys always need to remain the same. It's the same creative and dynamic formula every time. So any Sophia Circle journey that you show up to, of course, is going to have the individual flair of that facilitator's beauty way practices and how they set up the sacred space and how they kind of open the space. And it will always be the same Sophia Circle journey, no matter which facilitator you choose to go on that journey with. It's extremely important because spiritual awakening is radical, and anything can happen when you come into contact with this sacred text. So the Ascended Masters were very clear. The blueprint always needs to remain the same, because then people will feel emotionally safe to go deeper and deeper and deeper into their own direct awakening, instead of navigating somebody's decision to do something different based on whether it's a wound or an ego structure, or even something they think could be a creative addition onto it. It's like, that's not allowed during a Sophia Circle journey. The Sophia Circle journey is a blueprint given to us directly from the Ascended Masters. It's always dynamic. It's always choose your own adventure based on which readings and questions and group conversations that happen and the journaling prompts, but the structure is always the same. And Taryn's speaking to not only the emotional safety that creates for the client, but also for the spiritual leader. Also for this facilitator of that sacred space. It keeps us all in a space of sovereignty. And that's where the real growth happens. Beyond our small ideas about what's happening, we open up to the divinity that's orchestrating the whole experience, right? Everyone's higher self, the Ascended Masters, Sophia God, the Source. That's the consciousness that a Sophia Circle leader is trained to tap into and allow to step forward as the true consciousness guiding the journey, which is completely revolutionary. It's unlike anything else on the planet. And it's a joy to hear from you, Taryn, to hear about the grace of your integrity leading circles in South Africa. Our prayers are with you in South Africa. I shared in our graduate ceremony how much I would think about you in South Africa leading Sophia Circle Journeys, and feeling the incredible gift that you are anchoring that resonance of Sophia Christ light and amidst so much turbulence and oppression in South Africa. And thank you from my heart to yours for joining us for today's roundtable. Such a privilege and joy to have you here. Thank you.
Thank you so much. That was such a beautiful conversation, integration of everything that happens. And I've had the gift of participating in many Sophia circles. I love them. And I've witnessed in real time how amazing as a participant, how much consciousness can relax when you know that you're showing up and you're experiencing something similar every time. And it's been such a gift to witness others in that sacred ceremonial space having that opportunity, that the foundation is safety. And then from there, it's like where consciousness goes it's magical. It's really magical. I'd love to hear from Jenny as well. So we've got Jenny here, and I would love to hear, is there any specific key code mentors that you really lean into for their guidance and support while facilitating your Sophia circles?
Thank you so much, Ashley. Hello, Chiron community. Happy New Year. I'm so grateful to be here and listening to my fellow leaders and just so touched. We have such an amazing community here. And one of my favorite parts of being a leader, and I've been a leader professionally in a long time, in my own business and other things that I do in life, is that the beauty way that's been given to us, there's so much elegance, and the ascended masters, there's so much help along the way. So the part of me that wants to be the straight A student and can be kind of a martyr around things historically, I can lean in specifically to Isis, and she can help guide me and hold my next step for whatever it is, the marketing or holding the circle together, whatever my task is. And Mother Mary for those parts of me that want to be codependent or over function in certain ways, and that there's an ascended master for everything. And so I'm not alone. And for someone like me that has a healing wound around I'm all alone, here I have to do it all by myself again, you know, that sort of old story. I'm not, and I know I'm not, and I'm not alone in this community because I have so many wonderful people in Ashley and the Mystery School to lean into, and the Ascended Masters are there every step of the way. And so I get to feel so held and relaxed and allow, as Kaia says, allow the curriculum to do the heavy lifting, and it does. And so it makes it such a joy to be a leader because there's so much ease and elegance and beauty and magic that happens along the way. So I'm super grateful. I love being a part of this community. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Jenny. And as you shared at the beginning, you already were leading. You already, as many of our leaders can share as well, but you already had a professional platform for mentoring and coaching and leading workshops. How do you feel your Sophia Circle Journeys expanded upon, or just if you wanted to share how it expanded upon your offering, what you were already offering? How did it make an impact?
A huge impact, because the Ascended Masters are there all the time, not just for my Sophia circles, right? Like for my whole business. And so before, when I'm like muscling through, trying to figure it out, efforting, striving, having this, you know, this circle of empowerment that I call in every morning, and to be able to have these direct relationships, to ask for support and help, and to have the eyes to see and ears to hear the miracles, the synchronicities, the connections, and to be guided. And it makes my business life super fun, right? Because I'm in this dynamic relationship and not just working from home behind a desk all by myself, trying to like figure it out anymore, which is just such a blessing, such a gift. I'm so grateful to be here. Thank you so much, Kaia, for stepping out on this in this way for us.
Oh my gosh. Thank you, Jenny, for sharing. It's such my joy to be here with you and with everyone. And I love that you shared that, because that's why I wanted to channel the Sophia Code. You know, when I got used to these very specific key code mentors that are revealed in the introductory volume of the Sophia Code being with me day in and day out, that was the fire that kept my heart blazing to publish the Sophia Code. It was like, everyone needs to know what it feels like to live and work with these Ascended Masters every day, because reality is completely different. You know, when you walk through that Stargate One curriculum, you practice your altar building, you journal with them, you learn how to tune into how they're talking to you and guiding you every day. You literally are learning how to tune into that seventh plane, Sophia Christ Consciousness, and learn how to download it, to live it, embody it, and invite it to impact every aspect of your life. And they are right there, as Mother Mary teaches in the Sophia Code. I want to be involved. She says, I want to be involved in every aspect of your life. Isis, right there. I want to mentor you in your spiritual leadership in your business. And I knew that if I could create a program that downloaded self-mastery activations that could get people inside what I was already living every day, that this would create an exponential domino effect where we could have so many leaders leading from the same context of support and intuition and psychic abilities and sovereignty, and to bear witness to each of your ministries thriving and growing and expanding both in your personal life, your business platform, and in your Sophia Circle Journeys. It is such an honor. to be here side by side with you. Thank you, everyone, for sharing your wisdom and your pearls and your joy and your passion today with us and with our international community.
Thank you so much. That was amazing. And for those of you that are joining our ceremony, you can learn more about these amazing facilitators, other facilitators in Australia. We have individuals from all over the place, so you can learn more about that on our website, kaira.com. And as we wrap up this roundtable and take a short break before we begin our Sovereign Awakening ceremony, I wanted to take a moment and thank you, Kaia, to bring the Sophia Code and then to have such a beauty way in your heart to be willing to share this codex with so many individuals that feel guided to anchor the same light and to allow for that to ripple into their spiritual businesses and everything and every other aspect of our life. Thank you so much. It just, I think, I'm speaking for all of our leaders when I say this, but it just is such a blessing that just keeps giving, it keeps blessing. And so thank you for that gift that you've given humanity.
You're welcome. Thanks for putting tears back in my eyes, okay? I couldn't imagine it any other way. It was my prayer from the very beginning. And, you know, the prayer has never been to be a guru. The prayer has always been to be a leader side by side with other leaders. That's what it's like in heaven. And that's what we want it to be here on earth, is heaven on earth. And that means we're all equally sovereign, equally divine. We're all prospering. We're all co-creating. We're all leading together. We're celebrating each other's success. We're lifting one another up. So you're welcome. And I receive that with a full exclamation of how excited and grateful I feel to be here with all of us.